So this is Great Basin National Park in Nevada. It's out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm here because it's famous for the dark skies and I want to get a picture of the Milky Way. But yesterday and today, it's full of clouds, so I don't think that's gonna happen. The park itself is beautiful. The problem is, because of new rules and changes in the National Park Service, I can't film inside of the National Park. So if I do this, I'll be breaking the law and probably get sued, and now I have to pay a whole bunch of fees and whatever. So I can't film. I can take pictures. I can post pictures on YouTube. So maybe we'll do that. Let's go and see what we can find. This park is also home to the Lehman Caves, and you can go in and arrange your guided tour and check them out. They're amazing caves with beautiful formations. But remember, this is about the stars, so let's go back outside and do that. So Great Basin is awesome. It's a beautiful park. Okay, let me get down here so you can see me. The thing that I found is it's very difficult to take pictures of the stars because there's a lot of things obstructing your view. There's trees, there's mountains, there's a lot of things that look beautiful, but I'm looking for a Milky Way, straight stars, Milky Way, like just awesome, something that I could put in other pictures. In the valley, there's this flat area where I can look up and see the stars. According to my app, I'm using PhotoPills. It tells me that the Milky Way is going to be here with the core just coming out of the horizon in about 20 minutes. I am pretty tired. This is my third day getting up very early to go do things in the park and staying up till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So I am exhausted, but this is my last day, my last opportunity. The first day was great, but there was some clouds. Second day was very cloudy, wasn't able to do much. Today I went on a hike. I went out to see one of the lakes, and it's beautiful lakes, beautiful images, and there was wildlife and stuff. But again, that's not stars, and this video is about getting the stars. So I'm gonna be setting up here quickly. I have the Canon 5D Mark IV with the fisheye 8 to 15 millimeter. This is an f4 lens, so I'm gonna have to set the ISO at like 3200, maybe 5000. For 6 to 8 seconds, and then I'm also going to be using the R5. For that I have a 15 to 35 2.8, and I'm going to be using that at 2.8, 3200 ISO for 8 seconds, 6 seconds. So I'm just going to kind of hang out here and wait and see where the Milky Way lines up and see what kind of pictures I can get. I'm going to do a few to stack them. The whole reason for coming here and getting these pictures is because last month when I was in Vegas, I was inspired. We all have these aha moments. And I walked into a Peter Lick gallery. If you haven't seen any of his photos, I'll put a link up here. They're really, really cool photos, but they're not what you see in real life. For example, there's a beautiful image of the moon that looks gigantic. And then when you really pay attention, you see a tree and then you see the clouds, but the moon is in front of the clouds. It's a beautiful photo. But if you don't know exactly what you're looking at, you don't think that, well, that will never happen. And Milky Ways with sunsets and just awesome things like that, it's more about the art than the photo. With my background in stock, I feel like I'm more of a journalist, a photojournalist. And I'm trying to get out of that and do a little bit more of the abstract and the art of photography. So I need a good picture of the Milky Way, because I have a few pictures that I think would benefit from a solid stars. But anyway, let me find a place to set up and then I'll show you those pictures. Before I forget, the idea with these photos is to stack them. 10, maybe 20 or 30 photos of the Milky Way, and then stack them in Photoshop to bring more light and clarity and reduce the noise. That should give me a really crisp and bright Milky Way. So the settings I chose for the 5D Mark IV were totally off. Just ignore the horizon. I know it's bulbous because of the fisheye. I could adjust that later. But I should have been at ISO 6400 instead of 3200. Now, I did discover 2 new ways to remove that noise, and here's a version for you to compare. For this first image, I used Lightroom's new denoise, the new AI feature, and then for the next one, I use a program that I bought. It's $40. It's called Starry Landscape Stacker, and it's made for Mac, but you can see side by side the difference. This Landscape Stacker, this takes out the airplanes, it cleans up the image beautifully. Really cool. Now, here's a couple other images from this night with different cameras. One from the Canon R5 at 2.8 ISO 3200, which I also had to recover in post. And then with my infrared camera, the Canon M6 Mark II at 1.4 with the Sigma 16mm, also recovered and stacked. I think some of these images look awesome. So this is a quick rundown on how this Starry Landscape Stacker works. As soon as you open a program, you gotta select your photos, then it takes a few seconds or minutes to process depending on how many images you're using. Then you gotta enter your focal length, and for this was a 16mm. That was a Sigma 1.4. It doesn't have the date, so that's not really that important. Then it opens this window where I just finished painting in with red dots the areas of the sky that weren't painted before. Then the next step is to paint into whatever areas of the sky weren't selected. If there's any areas in the ground too, you can unselect those as well. Yeah, that's good enough. Now it's going to take a few seconds or up to a minute or so, depending on the images, to process. For this example, I'm using 20 images. Okay, now it's processing. Now I can zoom in and examine the photo, make sure everything looks good. This is very zoomed in, but you can see in the horizon there's no noise. So now I'm going to hit go and save, and I'm going to compare the 2 images before and after here with you as soon as this is finished. You can see a huge difference in the noise from one image to the other, and this is only using 20 images from the same place. And all the airplanes are gone. It looks great. Now, Lightroom also does a fantastic job with their new AI noise reduction tool. You can see how much cleaner this image looks. So let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you in the next video. Let me go take pictures.